3. Colbert converts again.
Pull outside to Clavel. Pull up 20-footer. Good! Bounce past the Duffy left hand.
CTV Sports! Good evening and welcome to CTV Sports, the best part of your Monday night. I'm Karlee Schwartzkopf.
And I'm Aisyln, Carrillo, filling in for CTV's Olivia Landis.
The Colorado State men's football team won its first conference game this past Saturday, defeating the Utah State Aggies 31-24. The second half comeback win now improves the Rams to 3-3 on the season and was also the largest deficit comeback for CSU since its win over Fresno State in 2015. CSU trailed Utah State 24-10 going into halftime, with the second half being dominated by Colorado State's defense. CSU shut out Utah State in the second half with a powerful defense, stopping the Aggies' offense altogether. Junior safety Jake Schlager led the Rams with 9 tackles, while sophomore defensive back Braylon Scott recorded a career-high 8 tackles. And finally, Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week, Kevin Davis, recorded 7 tackles. CSU's offense showed up in the second half, scoring the final 21 points of the game. Freshman quarterback Colin Hill had an impressive game, throwing for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hill was helped off the field in the third quarter, however, after a knee injury, where CSU head coach Mike Bobo put in junior quarterback Nick Stevens. Junior running back Dalen Dawkins led the Rams with 125 yards, and Izzy Matthews added 73 yards for the Rams and 2 touchdowns. Running back Izzy Matthews said, quote, "We played extremely physical. Our linemen secured their blocks, got around on poles. I feel like we completely dominated up front," end quote. The win also marks the last and final CSU homecoming game played at Hughes Stadium. Coming up next, the Colorado State Rams hit the road to take on the nationally ranked Boise State Broncos on Saturday, 8:15 kickoff. Aisyln, this game was an awesome game for CSU. Their offense really showed up. We've seen a lot of passing game this season. They incorporated the run game, which was awesome. But big bummer for CSU, Colin Hill is out for the season, tore his ACL. This is going to be very detrimental to CSU's offense.
I agree with you there, Karlee, but Colin Hill does have 3 more years left to play. We can hope that he recovers by next season so we can see more time on the field.
Definitely, and this also gives a chance for junior Nick Stevens to really take control of the team and help them.
And as for CSU's running game this weekend, Dalen Dawkins played a huge role there, but Izzy Matthews had a phenomenal game. He hasn't seen much time on the field lately, but he was given that opportunity to run the ball, and he ran it well. He ended up getting the last 2 touchdowns for the Rams, one which tied up the game, and the other was the game-winning touchdown.
Definitely, and CSU's defense also showed up this game. Star Kevin Davis played an awesome game. He's also Mountain West Player of the Week. He recorded 7 tackles, an interception, and a fumble recovery on Saturday's game. That's impressive.
Yes, Kevin Davis did amazing, I've got to say. And that game-winning interception, what a high note to end the game on.
Absolutely, and he also has 58 total tackles on the season. He's a pretty good player.
Yes, CSU's offense and defense both were on point this weekend.
Well, Coach Bobo seemed very optimistic about this team's win the past weekend.
Just proud of the guys. It was a great atmosphere there. You know, I wish more of the guys would have stayed around for the second half to see the game. But you know, that when you walk out there to start the game and that stadium's full, it's a special feeling. And I truly believe that you know, we could build something special here. You know, it takes time. It takes when there's change. And I said this last year, but everything doesn't happen the way you want it. You know, it's one victory. It's one victory for us, and we got to go back and continue to do the things that we've done.
The Colorado State women's volleyball team is now 11-5 on the season and 5-0 in the Mountain West. The 3-1 win over the University of Las Vegas this past weekend now makes Colorado State the only undefeated team in the Mountain West. The match started off strong for CSU, with the Rams only trailing once, where Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week, Jasmine Hanna, had 6 kills and no errors. CSU went on a 3-0 run late in the match that included kills by Sonia Cheesemick and Jasmine Hanna. The Rams won the first match 25-16. The second set was a point-to-point battle early on, where the Rams picked up their game, going on a 4-0 run after Kirsty Hillier and Katie Alexic registered kills and then combined for a block. CSU won the second match 25-14. The third set of the night was an easy win for UNLV. The Rebels controlled the match, taking an 11-7 lead early on and not giving up, winning the set 25-14. The fourth set of the night started off with UNLV taking a 14-9 lead after a 5-0 run where CSU called a timeout, then rallied off 4 of the next 5 points. The Rams then took the lead 20-18 after a kill by Hilliard, where the Rebels would get no closer the rest of the match. CSU won the fourth set 25-21. Next, the Rams will return home to host Nevada this Thursday and San Diego State on Saturday for the Rams Pinkout game. Aisyln, this volleyball team is on fire. They're 5-0 in the Mountain West. They're a young team, and as we've seen in this past game, they really come out on top. They go, 2-3 on most of their matches, but UNLV really played them tough this weekend.
Yes, they did, but the Rams were just so great on offense and defense. They actually were the first team this year to beat the Rebels at home.
Yeah, that is huge, and the Rams are not afraid to play teams at their home court.
No, they're not, and with how great this young team is playing right now, they've got a lot to look forward to in the next coming years.
Definitely.
Well, the CSU women's soccer team is now 3-9-2 overall and 1-4-1 in conference play after its loss to Colorado College in a tie with Air Force this past weekend. Coach Bill Hempen gave 25 different players an opportunity to see the field during its match against Colorado College, but this was not enough as the Tigers shut out CSU 2-0. However, the Rams were able to put up a fight in its battle with Air Force as the game ended up going into double overtime, which resulted in a 1-1 tie with the Falcons. This weekend, the Rams will make their way to California to take on Fresno State Friday at 3 and San Jose State Sunday at 1.
Speaking of soccer, our producer Olivia Landis was able to have a one-on-one with women's head coach Bill Hempen to discuss conference play this past weekend.
Good morning and welcome to CSURams.com. I'm Olivia Landis with your weekly CSU women's soccer update with head coach Bill Hempen. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Always happy to be here.
Diving a little bit into last weekend's game, you had 2 conference games. You took on Nevada on Friday and then UNLV on Sunday. Let's look a little bit into Nevada. Double overtime win. These seems to be a little bit of a trend here.
Yeah, we haven't found the magic formula to score multiple goals in a game, but to be able to keep a clean sheet, as we say in soccer, going into overtime certainly gives us a chance.
And would you say going into overtime, this just really proves how much energy and how much the girls are willing to push through?
Yeah, I mean, I've said all along the effort's never been an issue with our team, and certainly what we're finding is in our conference is every game demands 100% engagement, both physically and mentally, and Friday was no different.
And looking a little bit into Sunday's match against the UNLV Rebels, you guys did outshoot the Rebels 17-12, but were unable to connect on any of those.
Spent a lot of time in front of 2 goals today. Just trying to encourage our kids' movement so that the opportunities that we get are less than half chances. Just movement and creating space for ourselves in a tight space is something that we've been working on to get, again, better looks, so to speak, at the goal. So instead of having to be a perfect shot, maybe it's an easy shot. So it's something that we've certainly addressed this week.
Absolutely. Now looking a little bit into this week, you have another 2-game homestand, Colorado College on Friday, and then you go into Air Force on Sunday. What exactly are the tools you are using to prepare for these teams coming up this weekend?
We have to prepare for 2 different things. One of the things about our conference is every coach has a different way that they think that the game should be played. So you've got to be prepared for so many different styles of play as you go into these conference games. The good and bad thing about our conference is that everyone is so competitive, and even though we're 1-3, we're still in it because I don't think there's an undefeated team left. Mm-hmm. So there's still opportunity for us.
And would you say that these girls are mentally prepared for Friday?
We've certainly challenged. We did some things in preseason that hopefully come back to help us in this particular weekend. But I think that we'll be physically ready.
Well, thank you again to head coach Bill Hempen. I'm Olivia Landis with CSURams.com.
Coming up next, Karlee and I talk golf, women's rugby, and give an inside scoop on the story behind the bronze boot.
tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
The Ron Moore Intercollegiate Golf Tournament is in the books, and CSU's impressive performance earned itself a 5th place finish out of the 18 teams that competed. Coach Annie Young recognized the team's effort being at its peak, saying, quote, "Everybody shot a low score today, which makes everyone feel like they contributed," end quote. However, 3 players currently have the spotlight. Katrina Pendergast, Brianna Becker, and Ellen Secor were all top 20 finishers in this tournament, which is huge for CSU's women's golf team. Coming up next Monday, the team will head to North Carolina to compete in the Greenville Regional Preview Tournament.
The CSU women's rugby team played its 3rd game of the season yesterday against New Mexico. The Rams fell short yesterday, scoring 24 points, while the Lobos had 26 points. This was the team's first home game, and the Rams are currently 0-3 on the season. The Rams look forward to playing CU Boulder on October 16th here at CSU's intramural fields.
With the border war behind us and the Bronze Boot finding a new home this year in Wyoming, there's a lot of history behind the trophy that many people aren't aware of.
Boots are pretty special to veterans in general. You know, you see combat with them, they carry you through everything. And so these really symbolize kind of what a soldier is and what he does. Starting at 5 a.m., the University of Wyoming cadets will start at the War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, and they'll run 26 miles down to the border. And at that point, they're going to hand the game ball off to their athletic director and their guest speakers and stuff, and it will go through that chain back onto our side and get handed to essentially the ROTC cadets to run from the border south, so it's 39 miles for CSU to go.
What it means, and to be part of something traditionally is what makes college football great. And one of the I think it's the oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi, and to be part of this great game that represents a boot of somebody that fought in the Vietnam War for this country, and to play for that boot we take pride in it. You know, we take pride in representing our university, representing the United States of America, and to play in this game, our kids are extremely excited.
A rivalry is important, and one that has a meaningful symbol, and the fact that this trophy is a former veteran's boot that's been bronzed, and it's been an exchange that's taken place between our universities for probably close to 50 years now. It's pretty special.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just carrying on that tradition, you know. It's something that we've always done and we've always loved doing it. It's a way to be part of the history of it.
With the Bronze Boot now in Wyoming, the history of the boot run and the border war rivalry will continue for years to come.
Well, that wraps up this week's CTV Sports.
Be sure to check out this weekend's sports coverage on www.collegian.com, and we'll see you next week. Have a great night.